So it makes, so they have to walk all the way around. So at that location, we just pick them up. And, yeah, but then there's Old Kingston Road. There's wetlands over there. There's a place where they cross there, and then there's a couple places on Horsenden and Shivertown. So they're not like really super high traffic roads, but it's bad enough. And people do it all over. The DEC has this sort of organized. They send any emails out telling people. So we're on. If anyone's interested, we text. I'm in touch with Julie right now from the town. She's very interested in going out.
Interesting.
So I may, as you suggested, possibly stay on as a researcher on a time permitting type thing. And I did post to my Facebook page that they were looking for new people. I haven't heard anything from anybody, but I put it out there. Public comment tonight? No? Okay, the public has no comment to make tonight, so that's good. Approval of minutes, we don't have those, do we? The minutes to approve from the last one?
I believe, did you need hard copies? Sorry.
No. Did it? I didn't read it. So
well, no, last meeting, didn't we cancel the last meeting at the last second?
We did. We canceled one.
I think you approved the most recent.
Oh, okay. The most,
December 27th.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was approved. Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And as I just mentioned, we are looking for 2, I believe, right? Is the ideal number right now. 2. And I think the operation, that was the last meeting. So, now, let's see. What other agenda items?
Well, we can go through our individual projects.
Yeah, right, the projects. Okay, well, you want to do yours first in case you have to go?
Sure. I met with Jason Rosenberg yesterday from the Shade Tree, and we walked through the Millbrook to identify. I'm interested in bears, I'm interested in beavers, but basically the first thing we're doing is look in order to plant more bushes and food type plants like blueberries and nannyberries, so that in order to provide more food for the animals that pass through there, so that they won't go to people's garbage cans.
Great. I saw your little video of the young beaver.
Well, the beavers don't eat those
awesome.
things. Yeah. So the beavers are doing well.
So they're coming out of hibernation soon?
They don't really hibernate.
Yeah, they're active all year.
No, I mean, I assume they feed in the fall a lot more, and then they just hang out more in the den.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I would if I was leaving.
Okay, as far as, so for the paint swap, Gregson is on it now, he's with us, and Wendy, and we met when the original shells were too shaky, so they're not gonna be. So on this wall right here, there'll be some shelves, and we'll have some stuff over there. We're putting together a couple of documents with instructions for the volunteers of what they have to do there, what types of paints and what condition the cans, etc., must be in for us to accept it. And if we don't accept it, we're going to give them something to let them know where they can take it, you know, and what they can do, how they can dispose of oil-based paints properly, and how they can
go to Ukra, right, or something. Go to Ukra.
Totally rotten down or something. You can put kitty litter in it or sand, and that'll speed the drying. Once it's dried and hard, then it can go.
Okay.
It can go. So we have that, and then we have a disclaimer that we're going to give to the people when they bring the paint. Name, address, phone number, just so we know who it is, we can keep track. Because by keeping, if somebody, we also kind of, what we're going to do is you can drop off paints whenever there's a volunteer here. You can pick up paints anytime. And if somebody showed up right now and there were paints out there, if they wanted them, they could take them, no problem.
That's good.
But the pickup, they're
And
going to be
also
told.
liability, I hope.
Yeah, right, but they have to, but you know, we want them to sign a thing so that they.
Yeah,
you know, so-
no, that makes sense.
And so we can contact them if when we look at it, it's really junk.
Exactly, or
Because
or
blue doesn't.
I mean, it's good to have a roster of the members
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the
The
paint
sign
swap.
looks great. The sign looks really nice.
Yeah, and there's one more sign coming, it's gonna be a sandwich board that when they're open, will go on the sidewalk.
Oh, cool.
With an arrow pointing here to
Oh,
the door.
wow. Cool.
And then that will come in when the volunteers leave. And what else did we have? That was that. So the documents, then we're planning to do a sort, and probably just one day a week to start, right? And maybe in 2 weeks, 3
Wow.
weeks, we may be able to do this.
I mean, it would be cool to kind of combine it with spring cleaning with the
Yeah,
village.
yeah, well.
Because I plan on throwing out some old paint. And
Yeah,
we're
right.
gonna probably hopefully bring some over.
Yeah, that, spring cleaning, and then there was that other Earth Day coming up, you know,
Well,
things like
spring-
that.
Then yeah, that's a great way to get membership for that and maybe
And-
reach out for.
Yeah, and once we have a lot of volunteers, the students at the high school and middle school have to do a community service type thing. And Wendy has 2 kids in the school system and friends, they have friends. So we think we'll be able to get volunteers,
That's great.
you know, because they can just, from the middle school, they can just
Yeah.
walk down the hill. And then, once the bugs are worked out, expand the hours.
Great.
You know, when project dates, once the weather's better.
Mhm.
So, and at that point, then we'll do a real rollout. Then we'll send a press release to the paper. We'll try to get it announced in the water bill as an insert when the water bills go out, that kind of stuff.
Great.
So I sent out an email tonight to Tim, also asking what things they need, him, the mayor, and the village board, for us to complete the project. You know, if they have any suggestions,
Do you guys have a
comments.
budget or anything? Or
No,
that's
no.
awesome.
No, it's it.
Less worries.
Yeah. I mean, Wendy, because Wendy did this in Gardner, at the
Yeah,
Gardner Recycling
I
Center.
remember that.
She had all these shelves, and she's got paint and this, that, and the other thing. She's got a lot of connections, so that worked out great.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
anyway.
A few screws will go to the DPW, right?
Well, Tim had, you know, remember there was that glass bulletin board up there?
Oh, yeah.
Tim took that down and moved it, had the public works guy take it off that wall, put it over here, so, you know, they've been cooperative.
Oh,
We
yeah.
just do latex, and
Mhm.
we'll take oil-based artist paints in tubes, things
Yeah.
like that contain.
Fine arts.
Yeah, things that contain, but canned oil-based paints without
Okay.
anything. So it's in pretty good shape, and I mean, he came to our last meeting, and I think he's getting a feel for it, right? Okay.
You give this report
Do we
next
have
time.
some kind of a budget now? Do we have some kind of a budget? Because I think, like, for this project, we have to put cages around the plants until they
Oh,
get strong enough
I
to
honestly
withstand
don't
deer
know.
browsing. You know,
Yeah.
they get over-browsed otherwise, and then they won't.
The paint swap doesn't really need
You don't need
a budget. I mean, you know, we've been able to either print our own stuff at home on printers, or, you know, I'm sure like the forms, we can probably get them printed downstairs.
Yeah, Village Hall.
Yeah, Village Hall, you know, print out a bunch for us.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think we're gonna need money, and we're painting the signs with paint that people
Yeah.
have given us.
Oh, yeah.
And people have also, when Wendy was doing it in Gardner, she was also getting drop cloths, rollers, paint trays, paint brushes, stirrers. She's got a ton of paint stirrers. Unfortunately, they say the paint swap with Gardner on them. Somebody gave me, you know, she
Once
got a
put
ton.
it-
But it also, it shows that there's a possibility that you can get some free stuff, like, let's say, you know, Louis Benson up at True Value. He may see an advertisement opportunity here, you know, to provide some stuff like stirrers and things like that.
Oh, yeah,
for free.
definitely.
You know, and that way people can come in and, you know, maybe they get everything they need. They get a roller, they get a handle, they get a pan,
Maybe,
they get a drop.
maybe we can get some insight from him of what he does with the paint he opens, you know, because he mixes paints,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
to find out other resources for us too, or for
To
us.
get it, yeah.
Well, no, not to get it, but to dispose of.
Oh,
oil
yeah, yeah, I
waste
see what you're saying.
correctly,
Right, gotcha,
or-
gotcha.
Or they acquire different, like, knowledge about how
Mhm.
paint's mixed, and just to make it more environmentally friendly,
Right.
and so we get the best use of the resources that you guys get at hand.
And we have that little, under the stairs, they've given us a little space down there to store extra. So we want to have the paints just one can deep.
I mean, if they're,
Where's the mayor gonna put his stuff?
And Tim had asked about, well, you know, what happens if it doesn't move? You know, it starts piling up. Wendy, when she ran the program in Gardner, every time there was excess, she would just put an ad on Craigslist, and by the end of that day,
oh, yeah.
it was gone. She just put an ad, free paint, bing bang, and so I think she's got a lot of experience. You know, we've got her as the research assistant for the thing, and she's just very energetic and into doing this. So
That's
I think we're in good shape. So that's about it for that one. Anyone else?
I guess I have an update with my project. Ran into Dave over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd been trying to reach out to him. He's just been busy with other grants and other things other than my open space slash pre-existing conditions. It was long enough for us to get into real detail about making the project more expansive and more useful. And I'm tired of reiterating the same message, but now it's about me getting the time to do it. I've worked out the kinks. I mean, there's still technological issues with the processing power of different village computers, the software, but I was talking to Dave about using different resources with a revised open space inventory that is more methodologically sound and better than just Rachel and I looking at a picture and choosing parcels. So I think that, yeah, in the next few months I'll have a better product and be able to revise it. I have a tabulated list of information of public-private lands that are considered open space, and we'll have a description of the open space, and I'll be working more in tandem with Dave Gilmore in this project. And there's a bunch of other really cool projects in the works at the planning department with regards to sustainable development, and I think he said it was like 30 grand or something like that, but there's from a DEC program, I forgot which one, but he was working on that. And New Paltz already doesn't New Paltz have wastewater grant money?
Yeah, to make it hardened, to make the walls around the wastewater plant.
Okay,
so
it's gray infrastructure
Yeah.
improvements. Okay, okay, not green.
No.
But what can you do? You're on 100. You're on the right on the floodplain. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
Yeah, they put the plant there so it worked by gravity. All the water would flow down to it, but because it's down there, it's down there.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And I mean, this is more of another thing that we touched upon, Dave and I, but floodplain development and green infrastructure. Now that I think Dave told me that the village is or has acquired the parcel on Huguenot for a cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the parcel right next to the art installation there.
Yeah, it
right?
used to be a private family held.
Yeah.
Burial ground.
So-
Oh, they required that cemetery?
Well, the
Yeah.
family who owned
That
it
happened.
asked us to. They said, we don't want to maintain this anymore. We have only a limited number of people in the family who will want to be buried there, so could you guys, here's our fund to maintain it.
It was like 40 grand.
The family does not take care of it anymore. The village or town or city has to. It's, you know,
And that's the budget
So-
for like keeping it up and like trimming the grass every year.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out I mean, that's a perfect area where it can be included in the open space. I mean, it would be classified as a public property, protected by. I mean, would you guys apply for the National Historic Preservation District? I don't know how old that cemetery is.
It's old. I don't think the village board would do that. Maybe the Historic Preservation Committee, somebody who's.
I'm just wondering in terms, because that would be added to my open space inventory, and I would classify it. So I'd be interested to hear more about that. I'll hopefully shoot you an email when I get down to that project, hopefully in a couple weeks, but been super busy with immigration lately. Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Not go there, but that's my work life. I put in like.
There's a driveway to
farm
it, but
that's-
it's surrounded by private property and a farm.
Because
There's
it's
a large
behind.
meadow.
Oh, I know the area. That
That's
is.
part of it.
Oh, that's part of it. You mean in front of it towards the street or
That's
back?
Mhm.
Okay.
In the front towards the street, that is part of it. Sorry, I've read the
Oh, no,
parcel
no, that's.
Yeah.
so many times.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting, because that is a very sort of flat, clear space that gets a lot of.
Sure.
No, but it's not like, if there were a way, or if it were in any way connected, like, to the farm behind it, to Jewett.
And it stops, what's it, Tona Wilson, where she lives back there at the end of the driveway. I think it stops short of.
It's between Michelle and Judy's.
Yeah, but if you go down, yeah, Judy makes right.
Yeah.
You go back, I think she puts up on it that way, and then the house south of it, I'm not sure how far it goes south of that house.
Yeah. So with that said, I mean that paint swap, but I think we've covered each of our projects.
Well, no, just to follow up on that, two things. The planning board was so appreciative of the pre-existing conditions work. So if there's another parcel you want to take a look at, you know,
Yes.
you should have two tracks, because working with Dave, Dave has said, and it's accurate, I have 25 ongoing projects, 10 of them are priorities.
Yeah,
So,
no, he
you
told
know,
me. He's,
So you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket, so if with your left hand, you might want to try and take a look at another location to do a pre-existing condition. So-
yeah,
No,
yeah, and I mean,
There's a place, there's one place we have to do.
I mean, the thing is, I took my own hack at it initially, and now I'm retooling it. So it's gonna be more expansive. I mean, it's basically, I'm not gonna be on the environmental policy board forever, like, sorry. But that's just not gonna be me. But I wanna leave something behind that the village can use.
That'd be great.
That has tabulated information about the parcel, the land plans for future planning purposes, and has a map of the open space areas in 2017, where these areas, and say in 2025, a couple of them get the conditions assessment or something like that, where the methodology works out to where village says it's not a zero-sum game, it's a +1 for us, because there might be some small environmental impacts, but they're offset by green infrastructure or something like that, and it improves the quality of life for our village. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, it's a time-taking process. Just because I just haven't had time this year, it's been killer at work. So my commute and everything. So I'm trying to hang in there.
Yeah, but you set up a really nice set of parameters, you know, a process.
Yeah.
That can be followed, like you said, down the road. Really great. A lot of work.
There's another topic. It was the first thing on the draft agenda I drew up. We're going to need to have a chair of this committee. And there's going to be 2 members. It's always possible that one of the new members could want to be a chair, but I think we have to have a chair.
Yeah, right.
Marnette is recovering. She had a serious infection and spent some time in the hospital. She's doing physical therapy, and I saw her like 2 weeks ago, and she's doing remarkably well. But the stairs here are a bit of a
hassle,
a bit of a challenge.
Well, maybe if it's nice out one of these times, go downstairs.
So I believe she plans to be at the next meeting. So, but there's really 2 functions, 2 things that the chair does. One is to write up an agenda and get it to Alex at least like a week or so before the meeting, so she can get all things formalized. And the second is to run the meeting, which isn't that hard. But so it's a question of, of do you have time to remember to write an agenda before the meeting, and do you have the ability to just go through it when we have these meetings? So I think it's going to be one of you.
Grayson?
I think that since I'm relatively new, it's still kind of learning the ropes.
All right. I mean, I think then Rachel. I mean.
I've done this before.
Okay.
I'll do it as a default for.
I mean, I'll write the agenda next month. I mean, you just run the meeting. You're then write the agenda for the EPB. There you go.
So
Won't forget next time.
I'll also help you.
No, it's fine. And
Do everything.
I mean, I have
I need
some
Tom to
ideas.
wake me up too.
All right.
It's a team effort. It's a team effort.
Well, I'm the backup MC then. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay, great. We're a good team.
Well, then at the moment, yeah, someone make that motion? To
Split motion to pass on the response.
Do that. Is
Oh,
to
yeah.
co-chair this.
Awesome.
Second.
Okay, awesome. We got a coalition of government here.
yeah, all in favor?
All right.
It's got to be official. Any
All right,
opposed?
awesome.
Okay, that's unanimous. All right, so
But
got that for the record?
Who seconded that? It seemed like everyone, okay.
What,
I was like,
can I
whoa.
ask a question? What's going on with the moratorium? Is that happening, not?
The moratorium was passed.
It's
Oh, it was?
done.
For the
How
MBR?
long was it, how long
Okay.
was it
6
last?
months.
It's 6 months.
And when does that end? That ends it just took effect this month?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it still has to be filed with the county. I don't think it's official yet, but
so it's
it
through
will
the
be.
end of it's through the end of this fiscal year.
It's for 6 months from the date it's effective. So
Oh, okay.
probably September.
Yeah, so around that
And in
time.
the meantime, there is.
So where does that gateway after that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the meantime, there's a committee that's meeting with the help of a professional planner to look at that zoning and look at the 50 feet height restrictions and look at some of the other stuff that have been points of contention.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Be inviting legal problems. And
So wait, what's the status of Zero Place?
the planning board did this thing called some sort of a hybrid environmental review called advanced EAF or modified.
Oh,
EAF.
no, yeah, modified EAF, yeah,
And I'm not expressing an opinion or what I would like to see happen, but just to report a fact. The mitigation that they suggested for each of those areas included reducing the footprint of the project. So I don't know if that will happen. It wasn't the only thing they suggested, but in every area, that was one of the
interesting.
suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to or for it. It's just interesting to see that development in the.
The presentation from the developer with a modified project. I have no idea what the modifications are, but we'll know that next Tuesday.
Sure, they're superficial.
I think it was brought up at the village board meeting we went to.
Yeah.
I think you had mentioned it, that you made a point that, like, we had, like, no information or anything on it. Is that something that we can, as?
I mean, it's pretty far down, too far down for us to really get
I
involved.
mean, just to keep up with what's going on with it.
Yeah, I mean-
Just info, like, hey, this is where it's at, you know?
Well, all the members of the EPB should be, and if you're not, we should get you on, should be getting all the emails that go to the planning board.
Oh,
Should be getting the agendas and the minutes. So if he's not opposed to the comments,
Public comment period.
pretty impressed with regard to the expansion of the apartment or condo complex across from the college,
Yeah.
Village Square, or I think it's called.
Yeah.
It's called a couple different things.
Yeah, the one right off, just below, Orchard.
Ridge View?
Okay.
I think they call it, or no, isn't it Ridge View or something like
Yeah,
that?
that might be something.
Okay.
Well,
Ridge.
But that's
Rachel
in the
had
town,
asked,
right? Or is that the
They
village?
originally, the planning board, when they approved the original project, the one that's already built, they had to do some stuff with wetlands, and Rachel had requested some documentation, they couldn't find that, but they did, and followed through.
Yeah.
I was, you know,
Huh,
kinda.
that's very
So,
intriguing.
it seems like the new relationship between the planning board and the EPB is working. Going really, I want to go really hard not to be, not to try to throw sand in the works, to be helpful and positive.
Oh, no, yeah, Dave and I had a dialogue like that. I mean, I expressed my, not opposition to any projects, and I mean, I was basically told them, like, we're not here to impede on your ability to make your community better, and we want smart, built out development that is in its own right, up until now, to prevent urban sprawl from occurring and prevent different neighborhood characteristics that are not found anywhere else in New Paltz, because we've been able to keep it out. We've been able to keep certain, I don't know, chains out in some respects to our more core community areas that are run by small business owners, things like that, commercially available. So we have to take that into respect, and I had a really productive dialogue in respects to the relationship between the EPB and the planning boards, or the village planners' ideals and motivations for building out our community. And yeah, it was more of a mental exercise than anything else. And the issues that I had brought up as being potentially problematic for the project proceeding, yeah, I mean, now they've been mitigated in some ways. They've told me in certain respects of, like, the bedrock and different issues I had brought up were easily addressable, that my data did not match the actual engineering data, you know? Because, I mean, I did preface my whole pre-existing conditions on the fact that this data is not scalable at the way I was looking at it. I mean, it was a productive conversation, and I think that's what this board is supposed to do, or at least that was my goal with this preliminary conditions assessment, where I bring up those issues. Dave said, Dave said, yeah, there's a high water table. He agreed with me. I had presumed, or at least provided the opportunity, or supposed there was a chance of that. So it's good if the planning board is open to our opinion and our advice, and we're open to their. So
So we'll have another chance probably to comment on Zero Place if there is a modified proposal, then the whole thing starts again.
Exactly.
I would like to do that, actually. I think ended up doing a lot of writing, but it didn't end up going anywhere, you know? So I would like to put some kind of a letter, like a more official letter together that, about, especially about the water and the sewage.
Well, and that issue remains,
It remains.
you know, whatever the type of project they.
It remains,
propose.
the issue remains, and it's not unsolvable. If they want to solve it, they can. If they want to do a really good job, they can. And my opinion is that they should want to, not just one with the, you know, zero net energy. But, I mean, I feel like the water is very important.
No, I think the
and
developer
the park
has
and
said that,
everything else.
yeah, that's what they
say
want.
that, I haven't I sent my letter to Dave Shepler. I haven't really heard back. I see him, he's like, hi, how are you doing? Oh yeah, we need to talk. But I never, I feel like we haven't actually made that connection. So I'd like to somehow, I mean, I'll put the letter back up there again. I don't know, I think I wrote it months ago, for the next meeting.
Whatever they're gonna put in front of the planning board will be in front of the planning board, and we'll know what it is, so we can talk about it then.
When's that meeting? It's crazy.
Do you know, so we don't know what sort of modifications they made. We don't know if they made any modifications with respect
Yeah,
to the
well-
landscaping and the water.
That would be something
The
we'd
gray
probably find
water
out next.
use.
I mean, they said they reduced the footprint, so I assume.
No, they didn't.
Oh,
The
okay.
planning board said one way you can mitigate.
Oh, okay. I thought you had said that. Okay.
But I want to thank Jack and thank Marnette for your contribution
Yeah.
to service.
Marnette, get better quickly so you can be back here working and
Yeah, where is she?
Enjoy your company.
Is she home?
Yeah, she's home.
okay. She's watching on YouTube.
She took out a whole lot of books from the library.
There are two people watching us?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I'll handle the agenda. You'll I mean, I'll send it out in a couple weeks.
I'll try to
Um,
get more,
I guess when I get the minutes from tonight, I'll work up, as I'm working on now, just a status update. And, I mean, are you gonna stay on as a researcher or?
I'll try to.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll
I just
keep-
don't know
Yeah, I mean,
what my schedule's gonna
I know, but like, say in 2 or 3 weeks, when you want to run up the
Yeah,
points.
I am
be.
working.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm staying with the paint.
Yeah, so then you're still a
Well,
researcher
shade
then.
trees,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like I wanna-
Okay,
we'll
so
be, like, working together on
All right.
this project.
Alex, he's staying as a researcher
He said the
by virtue
cages
of
are
his participation in the paint swap
But cages are.
and
really
occasional
important.
update
And
quarterly.
I also wanted to get cages.
We'll see you in
for,
June.
It's
Bye.
so important, it
oh
really is.
yeah, can I just say something real quick? Because Rachel and I were talking, just want to make sure everyone hears it. For your page on the website, Rachel and I were looking earlier, there's so much room. If you had things that you wanted added, just send it to me and I can get it up on there. That's all, sorry.
Okay, awesome,
Sorry.
good idea.
Just want to make sure.
Put the link to the DEC, I'll, you know, I'll email it to you. There's a, the
Yeah.
link, they have a page about the migration removal.
There was a discussion scheduled for Gardner Town Hall last Sunday
Yeah.
called Why Did the Salamander Cross the Road? And now I know what that was about.
Really?
What is it, a children's book reading or something, you know?
Yeah.
So someone make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. Or you're the MC. You're gonna
Oh.
take. You're.
Anybody want to adjourn?
All right, motion to adjourn.
I second it.
If she's MC, does she have to sing?
I'll say.
No, she's the microphone controller. She can control it however
I
she.
get it, okay.
All right, so this is
All
vote.
right.
Everybody in favor?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Meeting is adjourned.
no, the parcel I want to look at is the one, it's the next most important parcel.
Which one?
Aside from the, after the, it's the one at, Harrington